用来就 appropriate， 就还是 appropriate 的 shy， and the same time 过后 modification 都 living 的了的，也like more made decisions everything started。也就知道 conduct 一个 professionally 做的 community 了，一个 offer 做 community 的 ，OK，what do you think？ 别去做 offer 可能了，然后我要做 white 你要后天一，我拉塞我要做public relations 天嘛，是 I support information. I don't have those information. So I truly 知道 clear the link. Even I coming home surprised because only one we made decisions. And that our process not getting decided to make a decision for Hmong. 好，那么也好，在底下在老鲁蒙了就是啥？但是 I have 2 points. Hmong HM they used to the whole global, about 24 million people, Hmong people, and 20 million of them use HM, and maybe 600 of them use M. Period. So which one is better? You go to Google, search it. It's proven in there. You know, resolution, Hmong do not do. For example, resolution in Congress, Hmong institution, the library. Every single word to identify a Hmong person is HM. It's HM. Under your standard you have majority use. 可能要我报的老路的 HM 是divide 被还得被要那个，但是老路的 MOOB 有一个 subgroup of Hmong people. And then maybe Minnesota have maybe 10%. To be honest. For example, the singer, the Hmong draw, the lady will sing the song number 2, for 100%. Every artist, singer, the Hmong singer, that's a Hmong lang they sing Hmong draw. That's a standard. Any singer sing Hmong draw is feeling. I took in the truth. She have to make up another. I collect over 20,000 songs. I got more over 10 artists in Hmong Draw, they're superstar. For reason, you will HM Hmong na to see. If we show you blood, but I to see lot the type of Hmong na. Yung think you want to go na. 我不在做嘅嚟地睇，拢被蒙死啦。用不了学了，个蒙啦，不 respect French recognize 蒙啦，拢不了我做嘅，又拢被蒙死啦。都比你逢学了 ，introduce 个不 respect 蒙，蒙 allows people must be live in one country use the same constitution， 又拢被蒙死啦。你碰我博叫，我被读者呢，就从那边样了呢。我被做一波爬到蒙了，要 represent 人被蒙死，哎，侬那被就 respect 可能都没啥到的，要就我这里人呢，被叫被没被听我蒙了，是穷那个呆了，是娘那个呆了，要你那么被我到处里的被蒙 good history，don't betray your history. Period. Thank you.
I appreciate the part and the presentation of all this meeting for this listening session and. Council Daito for inform us about this event. I also appreciate the advisory to have all this for followers Hmong and city of Bangkok or those of us who live here to enjoy. I don't see anything like this as a controversy myself. I'm a green Hmong, my wife's a white Hmong. At home, we speak interchangeably. And I think I kind of understand everyone's concern about the divisiveness, but I think this can represent the diversity in our community, among community, and also the inclusiveness, like Mr. Chair, the advisory chairman concluded. So I think this is appropriate. If we were to talk more about this, this is a shame for among communities to be divided. over such issues. There are about 42 Hmong writing systems. And the land is just one of them. There's the Pahao, there's the Lao reading system like Mr. Advisory Chair mentioned earlier. There's all sort of writing. And in Laos, because the Lao alphabet or the Lao system does not have that spelling, so there's no controversy. But when the missionary invented the London system for the Hmong, many people put the H in front of M. Other people just said no. We don't use a net or total, it's just put M. And so I think, in my opinion, like someone mentioned earlier, there's no standard, no grammar, nothing. And so this is just kind of represent local how the each dialect can like southern speakers and northern. It also is kind of like the British and American, right? In British, we spell labor, L-A-B-O-U-R. And here we have no U at all. So it's just a different system, but we have to coexist. We have to recognize each other's heritage. If we do not argue with small things like this, that just makes us feel so ashamed. So thank you.
So khana ma cũng đề ông kinh ngọc khang mà của ya vice president nhà hậu FD dùng veteran hậu sĩ quỷ war in Laos để bé cho bé tổ chức lúc đấy thế nào cũng so khana mà chỉ represent cái lãnh tụ của chúng mà chỉ là tổ thả giờ tổ trả nè là giờ tổ trả đó chỉ của chúng mà giờ tổ thả cho lấy cái bé bỏแล้ว post cho nó tới YouTube thì bé bỏ đâu tụi trên này cứ complain cho tụi bé giờ giờ này lúc nào cũng thiên nói cho sao để có bé tổ khăn nó là chơi và bé tổ khăn nó mà cứ chơi cũng bỏ nó chơi cũng nông này thả chơi rồi nó lo thay nhưng là nó cũng nhắc khăn nó chơi thì chơi này cứว่าแต่ที่nó bé bỏ nhắc khăn nó chơi này cứ hay đi chơi là nhưng giờ tàn thao có chỉ chơi bé bỏ nhắc khăn nó chơi phát cái tổ khăn nó giống như bé chơi ở ba trên này thì giờ thằng mà khăn nó mới mua lên nó là chỉ mới biết chơi áp ba là chỉ có nhớ cho bé cho nó cho vừa là thì tất cả là mua bé mong khó tất cả còn là bé là nhớ ở Islam là chú ý tụi này tới nè thì giờ lên đó mà tại sao nó bé tôi khăn nó chơi và bé xã hay chơi cái khám bé cái mong đau chơi mong chúa nữa giờ bé hú bé tao vào tao chế sư bé chỉ tao mà hậu tao cho khách đi chuẩn bị thế à bây giờ tí tụi mong thế nè thì khăn nó giờ bé tôi khăn nó bé tôi thả khăn nó họ thì giờ khán để tụi B ở tụi M O B này nó giờ luôn B nhau giờ B ăn kín nó chỉ giờ luôn B mình chỉ phê để chơi nhau cho họ có chỉ B luôn B mong thì tiệt cứ nhau cho luôn địa tên nó lấy bỏ thì giờ tí tụi mong mà B mong luôn B ra là cho số luôn địa tên rồi tí chơi phỏ nó chỉ giờ tụi H M O N G nè thì giờ này cho tụi nó chỉ right chỉ một thằng lại lên đó có chỉ là cái này cho lên đó nó chỉ khăn nó vậy khó thì cái chuyện mình đào tụi mong chứ thì giờ này bên mong luôn đề nó tụi pla là tôm đề là cái tại sao nó bên nhà con gái tao bên nó mong chuẩn để bên bỏ thì bên xã thì có sao chở mất lòng thì cho bên sĩ khó chuẩn để bỏ bên để bao bên thì bên cái này chứ cho khán đào luôn đi chờ đào luôn để xã mà bên mong luôn để nó pla cho luôn để nó là bên xã lòng thế à thì khán nó giờ khán nó cũng to khán nó cũng thả chỗ này tao between the Lugan and Francis, China, Francis, so called it non je, Hana Machope, no Yaru, actually you sacrifice to talk in Yang Jing, just so that to run the ten or to take another, how much more commandment to pay now. It's almost hard, more about you not. A talent of the nation that. How about you, your pet Mongol, your pet to Mongol, or to my tàu nào có sự tế ở Francis cho tàu có sự thầu cái lắm bên thì nó trang bỏ thủ để lại cho thì không nó mà khó hơn nó cũng tốt không nó mà hai chỗ lũ nhân so rồi là có thể sao xa đi cả thì cái xã thì không nói giờ họ cho nó là giờ chuyện khó tàu nó chỉ biết xã có mức khó cho ai còn represent bên mong thì kìa của chỗ lúc tết chờ nó bỏ thì mong giờ lên từ thêm mong chuyện kinh là chả nó mà không nói là họ cũng vì cái này theo cũng thả con nó cũng chia thả cho số đời vốn à cũng cho thả là họ cũng bỏ chứ á anh cứ số đời xa chứ giờ không trả thì cũng lùi hay nô trả
thì còn tại thôi cũng chưa biết sửa cho cái này chị của tôi nông sẽ sửa họ mua ra chi hả bây cũng như thì còn tại thôi cũng chưa biết sửa cho cái này chị của tôi nông sẽ sửa họ mua ra chi hả
nó có tài这是那种都 represent 的不比赛啊，对，我现在心情也觉得呢，哎，this is 空市 member of Hmong subgroup committee here, they also represent the radio stations.
哎呀，那种我们要是们把关注那他做做叫或者马上弄的，怎样？I live on the east side 24 years.
It's a Sam Chow and I don't live in I live in Maplewood, but I come jogging here almost every day.
Thank you.
Sam Chow.
Okay.
Me?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, yes. My name is Neng Xiong. So I come here on behalf of the XGU Veteran Security War in Laos. So I haven't know any opinion about today, but I'd like to see what the situation are and what the people complain about it. And before we can know further how can it benefit or how will not benefit to the population in St. Paul here.
Thank you. Okay, 我这是就成分那些呢，我我里面来了，也不要压的这个什么这那个。
Okay, the name is
My name is Jay, just a citizen.
Great, thank you everyone. I just want to say that, give a little bit of background on the project. So this is the 3 art stones. Here are the 3 Hmong art stones that were funded by the Arts and Cultural Heritage Funds. And that also included the 4 Chinese stones that you can see over here. And then there is 1 Dakota stone that is on the other side of the pavilion and the trees. And so our role was to, from the city, is to go through this process, and we've, as part of phase 2, we've put together a committee, which is typical of the city. So we have a Chinese advisory committee, and we have a Hmong advisory committee. And so we, me being the city and not being a Hmong speaker, we are relying on these 2 committees to help us with the designs, the language, picking the stones, and the location of the stones. And so we started the project this summer, where we installed the rocks or the stones, the art stones, around September 1st. It was around a week later that we received questions or concerns about the dialect of the Hmong stones. And so through the process, the city relied on the Chinese and Hmong Advisory Committee to help us with the selection and location. So these were not these did not go out to a formal city meeting. We were relying on the advisory committee to help be the conduits to the community. So what we heard, or I should give a little background about the Hmong Advisory Committee. It is made up of 11 people, and it is half white Hmong and half would be the blue or green Hmong. And so what we're trying to do, or my understanding of the stone selection and the dialect selection, is to create a balance to have 2 stones that are white in white Hmong, and then 2 stones that are in green or blue Hmong. And part of the reason I think others can explain this, how I understand it, is that white Hmong is generally spoken here in the U.S. Green Hmong is spoken more throughout the world, and we're trying to create that balance. This is a friendship garden in Changsha, China, and so I believe the Green Hmong relates more to that sister city connection that we have with Changsha, China, and then we have the balance with the white dialect. I think I'll rely on others to get into a little bit more in depth on this. Some of what we have written down is some educational material on the reasoning behind the selection of the stones. So now we're going through this process. We met with Councilmember Tao, we met with Councilmember Yang, so Ward 1 and Ward 6, to have a little bit of a discussion on what are the next steps. So I just want to remind everyone that this is a process we're going through. This is a listening session today. I'm trying to understand what are the concerns from others. Obviously, there are concerns about what we've written on the rocks. So I want to know how we can solve this going forward. We are not going to be making any decisions today. I'm here to listen and to understand what the concerns are with the community. So with that, I will open it up to discussion. Councilmember Tao, I don't know if you have anything you want to add onto this.
Thank you, Brad. Right, really very high level. If I did, all your information, bây giờ nhiều gì này cho thể chế này cho công nghệ thổi cho công nghệ đồ bê là chỉ biết cho họ được xử lý thì giờ này sai bê mua cho họ được nào chúng mình mình chú ý đó là bê thì là họ là chỉ chúng mình chỉ tốt tao là chỉ bê thì là chúng này sẽ tua bê tua nào bê tua lúa này thì hay là bê chỉ tao có thì tao được là chỉ bê sắn nó này thì bây giờ họ chỉ mấy cái thì là cá cho mua cho mua sửa sẽ giờ lịch trả họ hay tin cha rồi chúng tin cha sẽ được mong giờ thì bé có tao giờ đi nó có một cái gì đó tao thì it's very tin cho nó cũng khó nhẹ là họ cho nó cũng một phát khó nhẹ cũng chơi ít lần ra để là cũng nhớ tụ khó nhẹ thì cái tao nhẹ là qua giờ nó nè thì hồi là quaเขาหรือnó thì nó nhớ nữa public land thế thì bé cho nhẹ xe nữa là thì bé chúng nó sẽ được thả thì chỉ muốn cho cái gì đó tao nó thì sản nó là nè, chỉ hay ít tuổi ít tuổi là ít tuổi chú ý trong trái tuổi là chỉ bé sản nó là nè, bé thì bảo họ lười trong nè nè, thì trên đây là Brad, you wanna call them out? Whoever wants to acknowledge and then còn Brad hay nên thả gì nên mà thả ra cái lên thả cái chứ mà thả với tí trong show nè.
Yeah, whoever wants to speak.
Yeah, so you call on them and then so that everybody get a chance to speak.
Yes.
有就這個電站嗰邊度行咗，邊上度行咁嘅幾少聲咗，嗰個咩啊，嗰幫人做咩下，我都用下，至少時間是車，至少我幾少飛就用落邊住又多，有時間是車飛又多，行咁嘅幾條聲啦，多一次咯，有幾度咁嘅行咗啦，行了 remember to respectful, to honor other opinions as well. So now I'm going to clarify.
Yes, thank you for adding that. So if people want to say some of their concerns, to voice their opinion, we'd like to open that up now. Please raise your hand. I think we've got enough time to allow everyone to speak, to provide their opinion. So I will open it up right now.
We were under the contract China pending the reason that we try to actually we have 3 stone list come at least past September, and we also have another one the last 2 years ago in 2019, and that one we choose to write in Waimong, and these 3 we choose to have one more in Waimong and 2 in Greenmont. The reason we do that is because we don't have a standard language for Hmong people. Hmong people, I mean Hmong people, not just in the U.S., but globally, China, Vietnam, Laos, other countries. So at this time, we don't have the standard, and it's hard for us to make standard for all these 4 stores. So the balance to include the community, we need to balance that two in white Hmong, two in gray Hmong or blue Hmong. And that what we have from the advisory committee. So the advisory committee, each meeting we conduct our meeting by quorum and majority. And then when we made the decision, we pass our decision to the board. That is our system to the board. And the board made the decision final to approve and to the agreement. So everything we need to be inclusive. So that is what we did. Yeah. Because people know that in China there are a couple different writing Hmong. In Vietnam, in Laos, or in Thailand, in Burma, and other countries, different countries have a different dialect. For example, in Laos, they have their own character, not like us here. Officially, they write in Laotian, officially. And Hmong is totally different from here. So we cannot make those together at this time to make a standard for official for Hmong people. For this why we make this decision to do this, but the door still be open. Whenever in the future we have a standard for Hmong people, then we can come change this at that time. It's not too late. But at this time, we cannot say Hmong white Hmong is standard or gray Hmong is standard. No, nothing standard yet. So we just write according to our speaking dialect. So thank you.
Thank you, Yang.
A couple of question is that how we work with the Hmong community or other communities. And so each term, since the Hmong Advisory Committee exists, each term or each year we have a representative from Fishing Council. And they send one member to be part of our members. And every time we rely on the Hmong Fishing Council because it's hard for us to go house to house or association to association. So the Fishing Council is to represent the Fishing Council, Fishing Council. Then we talk to our representatives from Fishing Council, and he is the one that work with them and come to us. And that is our system.
Thank you.
The dragon in the lake, and also you're part of the idea of the Lucy, I believe. So you had a very good role here. So I feel badly about how you somehow don't feel like you were connected with this decision. From my point of view, I have learned so much. First of all, that there are green Hmong, that there are white Hmong, that there are many other different kinds of Hmong people, and that within those cultures there are specific languages and dialects. My understanding from Li Paoshang and Bi Vang Mua is that that sentence there is consistent in green Hmong. Yes. And if you put an H in front of it, or if you change the word, you would have a sentence that was even worse than Hmongish. I mean, it would be Hmong and English, or two different kinds of Hmong. So I think that, as a sentence, is a good representation of the green Hmong. Similarly, the white Hmong is also an example of a language that in itself is correct and reads together as that language. So what Bi Vang Mua told me was she thinks this is a great way to preserve both those languages, bring them into the public eye, and if somebody Googles M-O-O-B, how nice would that be if Boom came up on Wikipedia, on Google, an article about the garden and the Hmong Plaza and this project. So I guess I'm trying to take a larger view that will allow for broader education and yes, be inclusive of at least these two languages, just 2 of 7 or 8 or 9, you know, that are still spoken. So that's all I want to say, and I appreciate everybody's open mind in trying to come to some sort of a resolution here, and appreciate that the committee did try to involve people, and we're trying to be fair.
Thank you.